Yo, listen up. The streets have seen plenty of wild drama, but nothing hit harder than what went down on January 2026. Selena Powell shook the entire internet when she dropped that FaceTime clip of Offset threatening Stefon Diggs, and not just with words. He was talking about real violence, even saying things like he'd beat him down, or worse, shoot him in the knee. Cardi B's whole world got flipped upside down in seconds. This leak didn't just trend, it exploded online. Nobody was ready for this kind of chaos. Selena Powell, known across hip-hop circles as the so-called Black Widow, went viral instantly after she dropped the recording. The video spread like wildfire, with millions tuning in just to hear what Offset had said himself. In the clip, Offset, real name Kieri Kendrell Cephas, could be clearly heard making those direct threats toward NFL star Stefon Diggs, who just happens to be Cardi B's current man and the father of her youngest child. This wasn't any rumor or gossip blog exaggeration, no way. The whole thing was his voice, his words, and his tone, raw, angry, and undeniable. Fans and celebs couldn't believe what they were hearing. The internet was flooded with people replaying, dissecting, and reacting to every second of that call, and everyone agreed, this one felt different. The post that blew everything up came straight from Red Media US, and it went crazy. We're talking over 3.9 million views, 31,000 likes, and 2,000 reposts in just a few days. The internet didn't just react, it lost its mind. Selena Powell first dropped the clip on Instagram, but she wasn't doing it just for clout, oh no. She made her message loud and clear, writing, "If anything happens to me, Offset did it." She followed up with more heat, saying she was tired of this grown man threatening me almost every day and got me living in fear because he owes me $15K plus. She claims she'd been trying to get her money back for weeks, but all she got in return were threats. That's when people started realizing this wasn't a random post. Powell sounded genuinely scared and came with proof to back up every word. The video itself was a screen recording of a FaceTime call between Powell and Offset. You could see him, dark room, shades on, and that tension in his voice you could feel through the screen. Analysts who reviewed it said his tone wasn't playful or staged. It was serious, sharp, and full of emotion. Even though the clip ran for just 17 seconds, those few moments packed enough explosive energy to shake up an entire legal battle. People couldn't believe what they just heard. Beat, strip, shot in the knee? That phrase alone became the internet's latest obsession. This wasn't some slick rap lyric or clever wordplay, not at all. These weren't metaphors or bars meant for a track. This was a real threat aimed straight at a professional athlete. And not just any athlete, we're talking about Stefon Diggs, a four-time Pro Bowler and star wide receiver for the New England Patriots. His whole career depends on his knees, his speed, his precision, and Offset basically threatened to destroy all of that. The message was personal, direct, and dangerous. But it didn't stop with the violence talk. Things got even messier. Selena Powell claimed that Offset went further, allegedly insulting Cardi B's newborn son with Diggs and other posts. She said he called the baby cruel names and even claimed that their daughter, Culture, doesn't like the baby. That hit a whole new low. When you start coming for a man's child, especially an infant, you're crossing a line that can't be walked back. The timing made everything even wilder. Just days before this, on January 3, 2026, Powell had already leaked a video that supposedly showed Offset sleeping next to her, and that clip went viral instantly. It forced Cardi B to hop on live to speak on it, trying to hold it together while the internet was tearing their family apart. By the time this threat recording dropped, the story had exploded beyond hip-hop gossip pages. Major outlets like Hot New Hip Hop, The Shade Room, Bossip, and even Times of India were all over it. The chaos grew so fast that by January 12th, the story had crossed 10 million impressions online. The streets weren't just talking anymore. They were yelling, debating, and demanding answers from everyone involved. Offset's camp hasn't dropped any official statement yet, complete silence. In past scandals, his team brushed things off as misunderstandings or twisted narratives, but let's be real, how do you misinterpret someone saying "shot in the knee"? There's no confusing that. The situation's too loud, too specific, and way too serious to spin away. To really get what's going down here, you gotta understand who's involved. Selena Powell, born June 13, 1995, is no stranger to controversy. She's a social media fire starter with over 3 million Instagram followers and a big presence on OnlyFans. Her name's been floating around hip-hop circles for years because of her wild stories about alleged hookups with famous men. Back in 2017, she falsely claimed she was pregnant with Offset, which quickly spiraled into a whole drama involving extortion accusations. Offset even said she tried to hit him for $50,000. And she's pulled similar moves before, dropping alleged DMs and videos about people like Snoop Dogg, Trey Songz, and others, always with just enough spice to go viral. In 2021, she even served time for a probation violation connected to stalking charges. After that, she tried switching lanes, launching a podcast, but her reputation stayed controversial. People either can't stand her or can't stop watching her. Now, here she is again, tangled up with Offset in 2026, claiming he owes her money and threatened her life. Sure, her motives might look questionable, but one thing is crystal clear: that audio doesn't lie. It's his voice, his tone, and his words, and no amount of PR cleanup can erase what the world heard. There's no way to fake a person's real voice making direct, violent threats. No filters, no AI, no edits can pull that off with this level of detail. What people heard was raw and undeniable. The public made up their mind fast. Data from X showed about 70% of users reacting negatively towards Offset, 20% just watching or making memes, and barely 10% trying to defend him by saying he was just venting. But come on, threats like that don't sound like venting. The chaos that followed was on another level. Hashtags like Offset threats, Cardi B, Stefan Diggs, and Selena Powell all exploded, trending worldwide. Within the first 48 hours, those tags pulled in over 15 million impressions. That's how big this got. X, formerly Twitter, basically turned into a digital courtroom, with users demanding police involvement and calling out Offset directly. One viral post from a random college student racked up 2.6 million views, with the caption, "Selena Powell shares FaceTime video of Migos' Offset threatening to beat, strip, and shoot Cardi B's boyfriend Stefan Diggs in the knee." The replies were full of anger, people shouting things like Offset needs to be arrested ASAP or "this ain't just talk." Nobody was laughing or brushing it off, folks were genuinely shaken. Another post that blew up read, "Offset threatens to shoot and kill Stefan Diggs. This will only make Cardi B's case easier." The comment sections across Instagram and X were full of people echoing the same demand: lock him up before he hurts someone. The public wasn't just watching anymore, they were demanding justice. Selena Powell's original post blew up like wildfire. Over 500,000 likes and 20,000 comments flooded in within hours. The replies weren't just gossip. People were tagging law enforcement left and right with messages like "FBI, this is evidence." It didn't stop there. TikTok lit up with duets and stitches, creators breaking down every second of the audio, pointing out what they called domestic abuse energy. For once, the internet actually agreed on something. Everyone felt something was seriously off about Offset. But to really grasp why this video hit so deep for Cardi B, you gotta look at the emotional history leading up to it. Years of heartbreak, makeups, and breakdowns. Cardi and Offset first crossed paths back in early 2017 at an industry event, later teaming up for their collab track, Lick. Their chemistry was obvious, and not long after, they were spotted at Super Bowl 51 on their first public date, the start of what looked like a power couple story. By September 2017, the two secretly tied the knot in a private Atlanta ceremony. Nobody even knew until June 2018 when TMZ dropped the bombshell. But that fairy tale shine didn't last long. Between 2018 and 2019, Offset was accused of stepping out multiple times, including alleged ties to Selena Powell herself. The betrayals kept stacking up, and by December 2018, Cardi finally announced their split online. Still, love had its grip on them. They made their way back to each other not long after, especially with their daughter, Culture, who was born in July 2018. But behind those reconciliations were wounds that never fully healed, and this viral threat recording video just ripped him open again for the whole world to see. Despite everything they'd been through, betrayal somehow kept pulling Cardi and Offset back together. In September 2020, Cardi filed for divorce for the first time after yet another wave of cheating rumors, but just 2 months later, in November, she called it off after they reconciled once again. Their son, Wave, was born in September 2021, but even that beautiful moment couldn't stop the storm. More whispers of infidelity kept surfacing even while they were showing love in public. Then came July 2024, and that's when everything really cracked. Cardi filed for divorce again, this time citing irreconcilable differences, and reports started flying that Offset had allegedly gotten another woman pregnant just a month earlier in June 2024. Their third child was born in September 2024, right in the middle of that separation drama, making the whole situation even heavier. Fast forward to January 2026, and the divorce still isn't finalized. Sources claim Offset's been harassing Cardi, refusing to sign papers, and even making threats, turning what should have been closure into a never-ending nightmare. The tension only grew when Cardi moved on with Stefan Diggs in July 2025. That's when Offset really started spiraling online. He went live mocking Diggs for taking Cardi back, calling himself like cancer, saying he was something you can't get rid of. Fans saw it as messy jealousy, but people close to the situation said it felt like a warning. And sure enough, things took a darker turn. By November 2025, Offset dropped an album where he dissed Cardi directly, calling her a downgrade for being with Diggs. The message was loud, bitter, and cold, the calm before the chaos that exploded in 2026. Offset's behavior just kept getting darker and more obsessive. He even slid into rapper Finis 2x DMs after a video started circulating, accusing Stefan Diggs of stealing Cardi, a wild claim that led to a messy public clapback. But things hit a truly disturbing level when Jordan Gore entered the picture, dropping leaked screenshots that left fans speechless. The texts allegedly showed Offset asking her to give drop, meaning provide Diggs' location, and calling him an op, street slang for enemy. That kind of language doesn't sound like heartbreak, it sounds like he was plotting something dangerous. Of course, Offset's team tried to shut it down fast, saying the messages were taken out of context and had nothing to do with Diggs, but nobody was buying that. Around the same time, Offset posted and then quickly deleted a shady tweet saying, "My kid, LOL," right after a post about Cardi's baby with Diggs went viral. His rep claimed it wasn't directed at them, but the internet had screenshots and timestamps to prove otherwise. Fans started calling it what it looked like: obsession. Meanwhile, Cardi B was breaking down in front of the world. Her emotional lives from that period showed a woman absolutely worn out. On December 4th, 2024, while Offset was seen partying in Miami with his new girlfriend, Cardi went live in tears, accusing Offset of sending threats, harassing her, and even involving his girlfriend in the drama through calls and taunts. Her voice cracked as she said, "He's disturbing me. I can't even enjoy my life." That moment showed it all: the pain, the fear, and the exhaustion of someone pushed way past her limit. That kind of emotion can't be faked. Cardi's pain was raw, real, and completely unfiltered. This wasn't some social media stunt or publicity act. This was a woman broken by years of betrayal, humiliation, and constant threats. She wasn't just dealing with a messy breakup, she was living through a storm of fear while trying to move on with a new man and protect her family. On September 26, 2024, while she was pregnant with her third child, Cardi tearfully went live again, addressing Offset's alleged threats to take back gifts and start a messy court battle. Her voice shook as she spoke, saying, "You could go to a club and probably get drunk, give them women $2,000. Thank you for my kids though, all 3 of them. I don't regret them, but I regret you." That last line cut deep. I regret you. She didn't regret the children, didn't regret the journey, she regretted him. That moment became one of the most replayed clips of the year, a symbol of heartbreak and release. Then came the real bombshell, the March 31st X Spaces rant where Cardi allegedly revealed Offset had sent disturbing and threatening messages involving dark talk about murder, self-harm, and even revenge-driven intimate content plots. The tone wasn't angry, it was frightened. The world saw a woman emotionally trapped in a cycle she didn't sign up for, and the leaks that followed only made it clear something had gone seriously wrong long before the FaceTime scandal ever dropped. Cardi completely broke down, her voice shaking as she said, "He's mad because I showed his girlfriend. My life is in danger." That sentence alone hit like a warning siren. When a woman says her life is in danger because of her estranged husband, that's not entertainment or gossip, that's domestic terror. The energy around her shifted from frustration to pure fear. On June 1st, 2025, she went live again, this time visibly exhausted and emotional, right in the middle of her ongoing divorce case. Through tears, she vented about Offset's alleged mind games and harassment, saying, "I hope you get the ending you deserve." Some critics online tried to paint her as being vindictive, but those who truly understand trauma saw it for what it was, the desperate outcry of someone who feels cornered and unsafe. That moment mattered because it showed the depth of her breaking point. Cardi B was raised in a world where calling the cops or going to authorities was considered a betrayal. In her Bronx upbringing and the hustler culture she came from, snitching wasn't an option. You handled things on your own. But when someone like Cardi, who's built tough and survived every kind of public humiliation, finally says she's tired of getting harassed, that means it's gone far beyond any normal celebrity drama. This wasn't just another messy breakup playing out online, it was a cry for help from a woman trapped in a cycle she didn't sign up for, facing something much darker than public embarrassment. By the start of 2026, the world wasn't just watching, it was locked in. What began as gossip had turned into a full-blown saga of love, betrayal, and obsession. The Offset-Cardi-Diggs triangle had spiraled into something far more serious. Accusals, recordings, emotional meltdowns, and threats that left everyone wondering how it all went this far. Offset's silence spoke volumes, while Cardi's pain was playing out in real time for millions to see. Every live, every leaked message, every deleted post added more fuel to the storm. Fans weren't even sure who to believe anymore. All they knew was that something dark had taken over what used to be hip-hop's favorite couple. By January 2026, the case had shifted from gossip blogs to major outlets, with even legal experts weighing in on what could happen next. Could Offset face criminal charges? Would Cardi finally walk away for good? And where does Stefon Diggs stand in all this chaos? These questions keep circling social media every day, with people still digging for the truth behind every clip and comment. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over yet. What started as a celebrity scandal might end up being one of the biggest cultural moments of the decade. If you've been following this roller coaster from the beginning, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and drop a comment below on what you think really went down. The truth is unfolding fast. Don't miss what happens next.